Hey everybody, hope all is well and welcome back to the ShabinLife. I think we last left off with the wood stove and hearth install. I know it's been a little while. Dan and I'll just get right into it. For those of you guys that have been watching since the beginning, I'm sure you've seen our boy Coda in a lot of our videos. Sadly, we lost Coda the other day. He was 13, fought the good fight. We are definitely sad and definitely miss him. But he'll be here with us forever on our land. So I suppose that makes us a little happy. Yeah, it's been a rough couple weeks. Obviously, you haven't seen a video come out from us, and that's more than likely why. Yeah, I'm not really sure what else to say. I mean, we are definitely sad. It's only been a couple days.
We'll put together a little montage of some video and photos of him here at the property, and just as like a little tribute to him.
We just started figuring out how we were going to start this video off, and I'm already going to start crying. So we won't talk about it much more. Super awesome dog. For those of you who did know him, you were lucky. Dana keeps saying we peaked with our first puppy, and he will have some large paws to fill. So yeah, it's been a rough couple weeks. Obviously, we haven't really done much inside the house or really much outside the house, or we said that we sort of tinkered or we kept busy when we needed to kind of keep busy over the last few weeks. With that being said, we thought we would just take a minute, kind of catch you guys up. I feel bad. There's been a couple of these videos over the last 6 months. Most of you know that we just like to work and try and put out a half-decent video. This time instead, there was a lot of little things that we did.
Little projects, little jobs that we did around the property.
And we videotaped them, but they're never really enough for a full video. And I don't know when we're really going to get around to try and piecing them into something else. And we don't want you guys to lose the timeline a little bit of what's happening when, and now we're getting into a season. I don't want to show stuff that was still in the winter. But we thought we'd run through a list. Anything I have a little clip of, maybe we'll toss it in there. If we can take a picture of whatever, just to kind of show you what we did. We got a little cheat sheet down there. We're trying to, progress here. Progress. So, like I said, we left off with the wood stove and the hearth install. Since then, we've picked up some materials and such, but for the most part, inside the house, as you can see, since we're standing in the hallway, we picked up our doors.
Yeah, the doors were installed.
Yeah.
Started doing the door trim.
Well, we did the door. We installed the doors, which I know I've done a couple videos, which we won't put out probably, but just to kind of recap real fast on the doors.
There's a really great short if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, for those of you who haven't seen me dropping the door or surfing it into the...
And I'm starting a petition to get him to show the full-length version of that video because it is hysterical.
Never gonna happen. You can see a little of me surfing on our doors. We picked up the 5 doors. We have 3 doors that are for 2x4 walls, 2 doors that are for 2x6. They're gelled wind doors. They're solid core 2-panel shaker doors. They were not perfect. The doors themselves are really nice. The manufacturing is definitely just butchered. Hinges were bent. Frames were not fully perfect. We just took a lot of extra time. We set the doors as perfect as we could get them. Dana and I, we couldn't really use closing the door and looking at the gap because we knew that the hinges weren't right. So we tried to use the frame of the door as our plumb and our level, and then we adjusted the doors a little bit. And so far they turned out really nice. I'm happy. I have to go back and I think I want to redo a couple of the stops, pull them off and reshoot them because they're just put on there like mass manufacturing. But the doors came out nice, and then we moved to the thresholds.
I was going to say, well, we did the black handle sets, which also meant Dave had to swap out all the hinges.
Oh, that's true. I forgot.
From what they came with to the black hinges.
I think they were just like a satin or nickel hinge. And Dana was right. She, to match the black handle sets with the black hinges would have just been silly not to do. And what we did was we waited until we switched to the black hinges to even try and straighten any of the doors. And by that I mean take a door off the hinges, like take the pins out, take the doors off, and you can sort of bend the hinge on the door side, and you can bend the hinge on the frame side to kind of lift the, like give you a little bit of what you can't do when you shim. But we changed the hinges out, then we made the adjustments, put the handle sets on, which are all quick set handle sets on Amazon. It was a 5-pack. No, it wasn't. They were individuals, but they weren't too expensive, and I actually like these the best. And we looked at like 5 different ones. What I didn't want was a handle that got saggy or was loose from the get-go. I wanted it to stay nice and level, because if I looked at the door and it dropped, it would just bother me.
But yeah, and then the threshold, we really weren't sure what was going to go there, and then Dave came up with a great idea to sort of just strip a few pieces of the plywood that we used for the floor and sort of do like a staggered,
just like a wood floor, almost like a regular wood floor look, like an oak wood floor, but. Yeah, it turned out Dana's cool with just letting me kind of
be creative.
I'll tell her what I want to do, and she's like, I don't know. And then when she sees it, she's like, dude, it's awesome. But maybe I'm just not good at explaining. But yeah, what I'll do is
I have trust issues.
Not with me though. What I'll do is I'll take a couple pictures of the thresholds. I didn't poly them yet, but we just got them all set, and it worked out really nice. They're not perfect, but it looks really pretty, and it's just a little.
Just neat. Just a little
bit
change,
little artistic in between each door to kind of make our plywood floors look.
And he even stained them with 3 different color stains.
Oh, sassy.
Fancy.
Sassy. That seems to be my go-to here. If you can't get it perfect, just paint them different colors. But we got the thresholds in, which meant we could start putting on the door trim. Real fast, trim is not cheap right now and kind of difficult to find in bulk.
Or just good pieces.
Yeah, good pieces, so we don't even have all the trim. So I'm hoping that the generic style trim that we chose we can still get it. But we did pick up door trim and we started shooting. We shot the 3 doors that we could do both sides. That's the pantry and the 2 bedrooms. The laundry room and the entry and the bathroom will have tile on the backside, obviously, so those don't have trim. But we're all trimmed out in the hallway, which for Dana and I made us feel like we had a pretty banging, almost completed house.
Yeah. But
needless to say, that's where we are inside with the house. Dana finished painting the last room, which was this laundry room. And as far as everything else, we're probably just going to stick to trimming right now. Yeah. We have to get the baseboard; it's not close, and then we have to get the rest of the door trim. While we do the trim and we start to wrap all the windows in here, we'll also start probably tiling too. So we'll start tiling the laundry room floor, the entry, and get that kind of sorted so we can pretty much do all the molding and trimming there and be done. And then we picked up some shelves that we're going to start with in our pantry, some black wire shelving. So we want to finish that room so that we can get the shelves in, because we really are planning on emptying our storage unit in the extreme near future. We've had to push it off a couple times because of being able to get a truck, but we're going to do that soon, and with that will come most of our pantry stuff. So we want to try and be set up to move our bedroom and some of our other odds and ends right into their place. So that's enough about really what's going on inside. There are some little things that I did in here. We started putting all the device plates on just to kind of make it look pretty, and we were done painting so they could go on. I did spend a little bit of time in the pantry finishing the scuttle door hatch for the crawl space.
I call it the Hobbit door.
The Hobbit door. That's pretty big. I like
the Hobbit door.
It has 2 black style barn hinges as the hinge. And then we used a boat latch that is like a countersunk latch for the handle to open it. I took some video of that. It's not good because the headlamp kind of killed the video, but I'll try and take, you don't know until you're done, right? I'll try and take a picture of that as well, or maybe just a little short video with some light in there so that you can just see what it looks like. Basically just routed out where the boat handle was going to go, the boat latch, sunk it in, screwed it down. It only sticks up maybe like a 1/16 to an 1/8 of an inch, so when you walk on it, it's nice and solid. It doesn't feel like there's much under your feet. I'm trying to think. Let me check my cheat sheet.
Outdoor projects.
Yeah, let's forget looking down at the phone and just get the phone.
Yeah, outdoor projects.
Outdoor projects. Okay, so let's start at the top. Obviously, we're just coming out of the winter time, and there were some things that happened during the winter. We had some nice days, then we had some snow again, then we had some nice days. In between all those, we tried to spruce up the Shabin a little bit. So we remulched the whole entire property around the Shabin, kind of extended our little front mulched patio area, which is nice because that's where we pretty much live and spend all our time when we're not working up here. So now it's nice that it's getting a little bit better out there. We can eat outside. And so we cleaned that all up, remulched it, set the table, moved the grill, extended a little bit, did some odds and ends. We also took the leftover wood chips we had from some trees we took down, and we tried to make nice the culvert and swale area that's
at the end of the driveway.
Yeah, that's at our street side. Stormwater management where we are is huge because there's no systems. I mean, we just all funnel it into the rivers. Yeah. So you basically have to try and really divert the water to kind of help your neighbors out, people below you, next to you. Our swale and our culvert was done when we bought the property, but it's been overgrown. So we had some stuff trimmed back. We took down some trees. And then Dana and I just took the rest of the wood chips and tried to make like a pretty area out there where it crosses under our road. So just kind of little things. In addition to the trees that we took down out there, we're slowly trying to bring onto back into the property so that we can chop them up and get them split up for next winter. We have a ton of work to do down the front of our road. Lots of stuff laying there and waiting for us. So we'll eventually get to that, I guess, over the summertime. Fruit trees.
Yeah. So did we say already that?
We forget if we say anything about this.
We got our fruit trees for the orchard. However, our last frost date is not until like the 1st or 2nd week of May.
Yeah, like
so
Memorial Day.
yeah, well, that's the end of May.
Oh,
But,
geez, my bad.
so we can't put them in the ground just yet. So we're sort of keeping them in a cool, dark place, actually in the pantry. They're bare root, so just making sure that they stay viable until we can actually put them in the ground.
Yeah, some of them are in smart pots. All the trees are from Stark Brothers, if we haven't said it before. We're very excited to plant the trees. They better be awesome, Stark Brothers, because we found some banging trees where we're at. So spent a lot of money at Stark Brothers where we could have just went local. So I'm really very, very hopeful. And as long as we follow all the protocol, I can't imagine all those trees not doing well. But.
And then we started clearing the area that will be the future real garden, like our kitchen garden.
Well, hold on a second. We got our trees, and we did sort of plot and scheme our fruit orchard like 5 times now because we've had to pull the stakes for different work getting done. But we kind of went back, re-staked everything like a few weeks ago. It's sort of just sitting there waiting for us. We're very excited to do a video when we start to do the planting. But I know that I have video and stuff on me kind of plotting and scheming, staking out the orchard. And then we also, like Dana was about to say, we did go back to where our future garden's going to be. And
nothing major, just a couple chainsaws and some loppers, but just to kind of get an idea of where the area is going to be. Get like Dave always says, this time of year before everything starts blooming again is a great time to start clearing out like all that ragweed and like thorn bush. I don't even know what's growing back there. But it's a lot easier to get down now than waiting till the summer.
Yeah, and I mean, once it starts to bud out, it's so thick and you can't get in there. Whereas it's just getting to the point where it's warm enough to run the brush mower. So it's great when you're like, this stuff's half dead. So to just mow it over and clear it out, it's really nice.
we know that that garden won't be ready in time to plant this year, and we don't want to go another season without, homegrown vegetables. So we've decided to do like a container temporary vegetable garden this year. So that'll be a really neat video once we figure out where it's going, what it's going in, how Dave's great at figuring out like hoop houses and like neat things like that. So we're definitely gonna get that going soon.
Yeah, we have a general idea. I mean, we don't want to go another year without fresh vegetables, or at least sorry, I blacked out for a minute. It's been too long, and I mean, it's what we it's like one of the major reasons why we're here, But I think like Dana said, container garden, we have a ton of, 1 gallon, 2 gallon nursery pots, tons of them. So we'll probably just do 50 to 75 pots in like a bed style, just smack some rebar into the ground, bend over some 1/2 inch PVC, and then just hoop house it like it's one big, raised bed garden. And we'll probably do that down by our driveway. As a matter of fact, today I'm going to have a good buddy of mine, Harley, and his family, who, thank you for everything that you do for us. We appreciate it. They are going to drop off some black gold for us this morning, some really nice compost from their farm. And they're going to drop it down where the garden is. Hopefully once that gets done, we can kind of take you down there and show you what we're talking about.
But obviously, with the price of everything going up, including your groceries, it's a great time to plant a garden.
Yeah.
So this will just, even if you don't have the space for it, can show you that you can do it in a 5-gallon bucket. You can have a garden even if you can't have a farm garden.
No, and this leads us into a score, but we're going to wait a second for that and keep going down the list. So I apologize. You got the fruit trees, you got the garden. We took care of all the inside stuff.
The pull-in?
Yeah, so speaking of Harley and his family, they also helped us with some hay mulch.
Hay bales. Hay mulch? Hay bales?
Hay bales, straw bales, hay mulch. No, it's like a first cutting, so basically just some hay mulch, some bales. We decided out front we need a parking area because we've been saying forever, we have 18 acres, just no place to turn around in our driveway. So for a while now, we've been planning a little bit of a pull-off and a place to kind of 3-point turn. And when we do get deliveries up here, which we do get deliveries, when those trucks pull all like 400 feet down the driveway, we want them to be able to turn around in the driveway and not have to back all the way down. So Harley and his family dropped off the hay mulch, and then this morning we got to kind of putting them out as the retaining wall, which is going to be like a living style retaining wall. I'm all over the place.
No, I mean, listen, as you've noticed, a lot of things that we try here, I don't know if they work or if it's a real thing, but we're going to give it a shot. So we thought with the hay, as it breaks down, it's going to basically be amazing.
It'll just be a berm. It'll
just
be a dirt berm.
So,
and that's all we really wanted. I just don't.
But I don't want to talk about the score.
Oh, yeah.
It'll come back.
Oh, gotcha. So anyway, we kind of did a little bit of the hay bales laying out this morning. I had kind of wrote that off the other day to see what was level, and we're going to key it a little bit so that when we get modified dropped in there, it's kind of down to a little bit more of a hard pack. But I also want to leave a little bit of the grade there because I want that water runoff to run off really nice and well. But so that's another thing that we've been kind of working on is the pull-in, and I'll take a picture or something of that, or hopefully we can do a full video on that one for you guys. I feel bad. I know we're running long here. So
scores.
Well, hold on. So real quick, in the winter, we did have some issues with our water collection system. It cracked where the first flush pipe is. So I need to go back and kind of fix that. I'll bring you guys along. In the meantime, it's still working, but it's definitely one of those things that needs to get taken care of. I'll kind of, if I do go back and show you how I fixed it, I'll show you what happened to make it. It froze when we were away and it basically cracked. And once it unfroze, all that PVC kind of just seeped itself back together, but it needs to get fixed. We also noticed that the Shabin sunk probably another inch and a half over from last year through the winter to now the spring thaw. So we're going to have to lift the Shabin again. This time I think we're going to use like a transit level, and we're actually going to lift it to where it's perfectly level. Hopefully we can get it to the point where it stops. I don't think it will sink much anymore. I think at this point it's been here like 3 or 4 years, and we knew originally that it was going to go settle because we put it there in the wintertime. But we definitely have to go back and lift the Shabin, so that'll be another little thing we kind of got to take care of. All right, major scores. So,
if you're like us, you love scores.
yeah, who doesn't love scores, especially when everything is $1 gazillion and impossible to find right now. So we'll real quick tell you our scores. This gets us excited. We're like Sanford in the sun. We're like organized chaos here. We may have like, a homestead, and I don't want it to get all cluttered, but y'all know,
if it's free.
it's free, it's for me, and I'll find a way to use it, as long as it's usable. So we'll start with our first score, which was a couple weeks ago, maybe 2-3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
We stopped by a liquidation warehouse in about 3 hours from here, and we walked around a little bit, didn't really find much. And right when we were about to leave, Dana saw a box that had some seeds in there, some packets of flower seeds, vegetable seeds, and she just said, "Hey, Dave, look, and it was a box, and there was a box in a box, and they were mostly Ferry Morse seeds with some other stuff mixed in, but they wanted, I think, 50 cents for a pack of seeds, which is actually still really great. They were from 2020, I think, so they're a couple years old. We all know they're still viable. So Dana and I just thought, man, I wonder if they'll just sell us the whole box. So we asked the guy how much for the whole box, and he says $5. Now, we think there was about 2,000, maybe 2,500 packs of seeds. So when we bought the boxes, we got pretty excited. So we brought the boxes, he's like, well, hold on 1 second. Huh? And so he said, $5.
I think he heard how excited we were about $5 and realized that that was too little.
We laughed because like 3 days earlier, Dana was just in a store and we picked up 2 packs of like wildflower seeds, just kind of on impulse, like hey, go grab those 2 packs. And it's $5 for 2 packs of seeds. So I said, hey, I'll give you $10 for the box,
Both boxes.
Both boxes. We dumped one into the other. And he said,
it basically filled one whole file box.
If we have a picture, I'll throw it in right here because it's absurd. We were like, it was like money to us. We were like rolling around in it in the bed. But it was a major score, probably over 2,000 packets of seeds, which made it capable for us to put like goodie bags together for a lot of people, and not just 1 or 2 packs. I mean, everybody got basically 1 pack of everything that was almost in there.
And the sunflowers, I think it was, you said like 16 different varieties of sunflowers, and then like multiple packets of each
one
variety.
of them.
I mean, it's pretty, I don't know what we're going to do with it all, but the hay bales is definitely going to be one of them where I just kind of sprinkle seeds all over it and see what comes up.
We were obviously super stoked with, it was basically an annual and a perennial display that must have been dumped at the end of the season. So obviously we're really excited for the perennial seeds, and we'll probably try and make use of them, the way they're supposed to, but tons and tons and tons of seeds. It's absurd. So great score. Our other score comes from our best buddy, Joe. We're going to miss you. A good buddy of ours that is from this area that was probably the first person to ever stop and help us on the property. He brought his tractor to kind of help us spread some rock.
There's a video of when my husband wanted to do 3-inch stone for the driveway and have a dump truck of it dropped, and we were going to shovel it by hand.
Yeah.
And this awesome neighbor stopped and laughed at us first, but then he drove back down with his tractor, and it was a blessing. And it's in a much earlier video if you want to see Joe.
Yeah, if you want to see Joe in action, he's in the video. And P.S., you cannot shovel 3-inch quarry road.
So Joe's moving, and we wish him and his wife all the best in their next chapter, their next adventure. But
Joe was kind enough to stop at the house and say, "Hey, I'm leaving. Is there anything you want?" I said, "Can I have your gazillion-dollar tractor?" And he said, "No."
But he did gift us 3 really awesome scores.
Yes,
so,
we stopped.
Score
number one. We stopped up there the other day and picked up score number 1, which was Joe was kind enough to hook us up with almost 45 6x6x8 posts. So I mean, right now I can't even tell you how much money that would be. It's absurd. So we are thrilled. 6x6x8 posts, 40 really nice, solid, straight posts, 5 that we'll probably just use for beaters. But thank you, Joe.
Yeah,
hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars worth of 6x
Don't know what we'll do with them yet, but it's awesome to know that they're here at our disposal.
Yes.
Score number 2.
Picnic table.
Yes.
We got an amazing, beautiful.
It's like a 12-foot picnic table,
You can tell it's not
one
even,
piece.
yeah, not even dimensional lumber. It looks like it's made from like rough cut, 2x6, or almost 3x6. It's a really, really, really pretty picnic table. It needs a little bit of love because it was sitting out, but this thing will last forever with just a little bit of love. And Joe, we will think about you every time we eat lunch at that table, buddy.
Absolutely. Score number 3.
Score number 3, handmade from JT himself. He used a lot of wood for a wood boiler system, and he used to have these big metal I-beam sawbucks that he would just, zip up almost telephone-sized logs. And when we were there, he asked me if I wanted either of his sawbucks, and I did. And he was kind enough to give us one of his really nice, steel I-beam sawbucks.
Yes,
so
really cool.
We made one ourselves that we've been using for the last couple of years, but that one will come in massively handy. So thank you, Joe. 3 major scores, man, and we greatly appreciate it. We didn't think my truck was going to make it home the first trip with those. With the posts in there, but we made it home safe and sound. So it's been a rough couple weeks. It's been a good couple weeks. It's really just life, and we're okay with it. It's our life, and it's how we're living it, and we're excited every day. And it's very exciting when Dana wakes up in the morning, looks out the door, and just says that she loves it here. It makes me happy. It really does.
Sadly, with the passing of Coda, though, we did kind of pick out a spot on the property that we will kind of keep and develop, and will be a future resting place for other pets too. But it was neat to know that there's a great spot for him, and that when we look out the French doors here, it's not far off. So our buddy will still be with us here at the Shabin.
He gets to look out on the valley, and the sun will shine on him all day long. So very happy that we can be with him on a regular basis. But I think that's probably all we've got for you now. It was a lot of talking, so we apologize. We certainly look forward to coming back with some videos where we're actually accomplishing things. We appreciate it, as always, for you guys checking out the videos. Like I said, for those of you who have been around since the beginning, thank you guys, as always, for checking things out. And if you've been watching Coda all those times, we love you. He loves you. Thank you so much. If this is your first time checking out the channel, sorry that you had to,
stumble on a sad one.
Stumble upon it on a sad one, yet informative. But we appreciate you stopping by. Feel free to subscribe. We promise that there's fun stuff to happen in the future.
There's so much fun stuff to happen.
If you guys are thinking about anything or want to see anything in particular, feel free to leave it in the comments below. I guess until next time, man, stay fly.